Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. Delighted to be joined by Gian Van Veen once again. We spoke after Q School, Gian, and you said some big goals for this year. But how's it going? It's been great to have you on tour the last few months.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been going well, I think. Made a couple of deep runs in some tournaments, not as much as I would have hoped, maybe, but my game is there, and I can't complain really.
Was the expectation quite high after the end of last year? Because those last few Players' Championships, we really started to see your A game on the Pro Tour circuit. And did that change expectation, maybe not just for you, but for people watching as well?
Yeah, maybe especially for the people watching, as you said. When you make a final, then they don't expect you, but they know you can make it again. And it's like, oh, why are you losing first round, or how come you didn't make a final yet? But no, for myself, I kind of kept the expectations low. Just win a couple of games here and there because it's your first proper year on tour. You're mixing it with the best and just see how far you can get. But no, I think I've done well in the Players Championships. Lost a couple of first rounds too many times for my own liking. But it is what it is. You can't always win your first game, especially not on the Pro Tour. But no, I think I'm satisfied with the first half year.
Has there been much adapting for you to do since you got your card? Because we said you'd had the experience on the Pro Tour before, so is it just a case of carrying on that?
Yes. Well, it's for me it's the same. Everyone says without a tour card you can play with more freedom, but I haven't experienced it like that. For me, it's just the same as playing on the Pro Tour as an add-on player without a tour card. But no, I think I just kept going how I finished off last year on the Pro Tour.
I know when we spoke last time, you were still studying for your degree, and there are only a few months left of that. Where are we? Are you nearly clear of studying, and we're hopefully focusing fully on darts?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully I'll be done in 3 weeks. I got my presentation half July. Don't know the exact date yet. Might cross with the Pro Tour, so hopefully it just in between the Pro Tour and development tour the week before. But if I have to miss a Pro Tour, then so be it. But no, hopefully I can play them all. But we'll see. But yeah, really looking forward to being done with college now. But no, 3 more weeks hopefully.
Does it take away a little bit of focus? I know it's obviously the education is very important, but when you're trying to make a career and a living, I guess, as well as a darts player, does it take away a little bit of sort of focus from that?
Well, yeah, focus, yes, because in your head at the Pro Tour, I got a deadline maybe tomorrow or next week, and especially the last couple of weeks when the deadlines came up, after the Pro Tour, everyone, oh, you're going with us for dinner, or you're going with us out tonight or anything. It's like, no, I have to be in my hotel room working on my college. But that was tough, and but yeah, it is what it is. Especially combining it, didn't get as much practice in as I would have hoped the first couple of months on tour, and especially with the traveling. I'm in college until Friday at like 5, and then traveling Friday evening, and arriving late at the hotel isn't the best. But I can't really complain with the results with those circumstances, and hopefully it will be better when college finish.
I think we spoke a little bit about it last time, but why did you decide to sort of continue that education? Because lots of people sort of go all in on darts, and they really sort of, I don't want to say you haven't dedicated yourself to it. People go completely full in on that. Why did you decide to sort of split things?
Darts is not a sport as football where when you're 30 or 33, you're kind of done. Darts you can play until you're 50, 55 years old, and I'm 21 now, and college was only a half year until I was done when I got my tour card. So I was like, I want to get it done. College, I invested 4.5 years into it now, and only half a year more left. And so I wanted to get it done, and maybe if I lose my tour card, who knows, I break my arm or anything, I still have my degree, so I can still get some work, get a decent salary and everything. And so that was my main focus point this year. So that was one of the reasons why I still kept on focusing on school, not fully darts.
Hmm. Let's talk a little bit more about the darts. You've sort of alluded to the results you've had on the Pro Tour this year. There's been some great results on the Euro Tour as well. Sometimes, though, maybe performances over results. You've had some big averages, but not quite come away with the wins at times. They must be difficult to take.
Yes, especially on the Pro Tour, every time when I lost with a 100+ average here and there, when I walked back at the table, I sat down and everyone was like, "Oh, you lost again with a 100+." I was like, "Yep," and they were like, "No way, not again." So that's really tough, especially on the Euro Tour when I make the quarterfinals. I lost the quarterfinals with a 106 average, and everyone in the practice room was like, "Wow, how can this keep happening to him?" But I know if I keep playing like this, if I keep hitting the 100 or 97 averages, 98, eventually you win games and you get a couple of deep runs. So it's more about the long term. But yeah, as you said, it's tough to take sometimes, especially when you go to a Pro Tour weekend. You only got 2 tournaments and then you lose twice with a 100+ average and you go home empty-handed. But yeah, it's difficult. But I know the game is there, and maybe the luck will turn on my side.
Who do you sit with at the Pro Tours and things like that?
Table with a lot of Dutch guys like Danny Jansen, Danny Van Tripe, Luc Peters, Danny Noppert, Gilles van Dongen is there, Brian Rahman. So that kind of group. Hopefully they'll still be there next year. Well, probably not all of them, but who knows? Who knows? It's still a long year left. But I got some good friends. Owen Roelofs is a really good friend of mine. So I practice with him a lot. So yeah, I'm feeling at home on the tour.
You mentioned Owen there, and I know in the lead up to Q School you were practicing with him as well. Has it been good to share the experience of being new on tour with him? Because he's had some good results as well, and you can share. I don't know if you do share things like the traveling and stuff, but just somebody to sort of have as a bit of support during the time as well.
But yes, it is. As you said, once we both got the tour cards at Q School, we said, "Oh, it's good to have someone and to experience the same thing as you are experiencing." First couple of years on tour with a guy for a very long time, about the same age. But traveling wise, not really, because as I said, I travel late in the evening due to college, and he travels in the afternoon. So not really traveling wise. But once I get there, dinner and everything, I'll meet up with him most of the times. So yeah, it's good to have a friend on tour.
In terms of the big darts coming towards the end of the season, things like the Players' Championships, the European Championships, you're not too far off the qualification places either. Are they things that at this time in the season you start to think, can I get into these spots? Can I sort of secure a TV game for myself?
Well, Player Championship finals, yeah, for sure. Really want to make that. Last couple of Pro Tours haven't gone the way as I hoped, so I see myself keep sliding on the ranking. But hopefully at the end of the year, I'll be in the top 64. European Championship would be amazing, but I think it's still a long shot. I'm qualified for the next Euro Tour in Trier next week, so hopefully I may have a good run there as well. And then we still got 3 more qualifiers. Hopefully I make 1 or maybe even 2 qualifications of that as well, and maybe have 1 or 2 runs. Then you never know. You can be in. I think it's in Dortmund again this year, but yeah, maybe I can be there in the European Championship. But I think that really would be a bonus. But the Play Championship finals is really a priority.
It would be interesting to get your take on the Dutch team at the World Cup of Darts as well. Obviously, Michael van Gerwen missing out with the operation and the injury, but I think Dirk and Danny, 2 very different characters that we look on. Would you agree with that?
Yes. As you could see, once they got 7-all against Belgium, Dirk walked up to Danny, he's like fully pumped up, and Danny was like, "Whoa, what's happening here?" So yeah, they are truly 2 very different characters, personally, but also when playing darts. Dirk's very, yeah, he expresses his feelings, which is okay, of course, that's his thing, and he plays better. But Danny is really more timid, but it's I think that's really making a great couple. But unfortunately, yeah, they lost to Belgium in a great game. But I think maybe next year, if they're still playing, or maybe Michael steps up again, who knows? But no, I think they done themselves proud.
Another thing just around the corner is the World Matchplay. As I'm speaking to players this and next week, I'd like to get some predictions on that one. I think there's 3 that you would say I've got a gap between those three, and the rest of the field obviously being Michael van Gerwen, Michael Smith, and Gerwin Price, but there's definitely players below them that can cause a shock as well. Just like to get your predictions and anybody that you think might be out there to cause a shock.
Yeah, as you said, the top three I think are a bit clear of the rest of the field. But Gary Anderson is playing really well lately on the tour. He's always making the quarters or semi-finals. Josh Rock, of course, is still playing well. Yeah, I think maybe those two can maybe make the quarters or even the semi. And I think especially Gary, who knows, he might have a trick up on his sleeve and can lift the title at the end.
What's your sort of how did you grow up watching much of Gary? Because he's a lot of players look at Gary and he's somebody that they really want to emulate. I know he's 30 years or so older than yourself, but is he someone that you look at and you think that's what I want to achieve?
Yes, when I grew up watching darts, he was more my idol. There was the guy, because he made it look so effortless, especially in the 2011 2012 era, the time that he made the final in 2011 of the World Championship. That tournament, he was so good. I remember I was 9 years old then, but I still remember it because he was so good, and that really made me fall in love with darts. Watching him play and seeing him pick up 2 world titles a couple of years later, and then I played him twice this year already, and that really was a dream for me. Playing your idols and even giving them a good game. But yeah, it's amazing what he has done for the sport.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, really appreciate your time once again, Gian, and best of luck for the months coming up, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Thank you very much. No problem.